Hello and welcome back to Ferris Esports with Coach's Corner. I'm Coach Ricochet here with Coach Mans. You already knew that. How are you doing here today, Mr. Mans?
I am good. It was a very early morning. It's a Monday.
Yes.
So, just getting back into like, oh, I got to do all this again kind of things. And semester's almost over, though. We're getting in the home stretch. So I'm looking forward to getting all of my final projects done so I can just be like, yes, I'm done. That's it. I'm done.
Yes, I am excited for the break as well. But before we get to that point, we have the playoffs.
That's
A
right.
lot of our team actually made the playoffs. The NACE playoffs format is very forgiving, so most of our teams actually ended up making the playoffs. And both of our NSCC teams made the playoffs as well. So
Yes.
we're pretty excited about that. Currently, the only team that made it that is not continuing forward at the moment is CSGO. So CSGO made it in but lost their first match. It was close. It was against Butler, who we went the very longest distance with last time. We weren't quite able to clutch out, but we did take it to map 3, and it did look competitive all the way through that series. So we're very happy with the way that turned out. The team was excited about this season. They're ready, itching to go into next semester season as well. So I know they kind of just put this team together at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Nobody had played with each other. Just like, hey, we want to do CS. We found 7 guys that want to do CS, 7 or 8, I think, and that want to do CS. And we're like, hey, yeah, let's make it happen. So that team will get better as time continues to go on. In a Bandwidth Bowl, they're gonna have some fun as well. There's some good CS teams here in Michigan, so
Just a little bit.
yeah, we are the best state in the country for collegiate CS. We've had the past 2 years national championships. We're both from Michigan, and both play in the Bandwidth Bowl. So
Yes.
that will be an interesting matchup. If I'm gonna be willing to bet, DU is probably gonna take it this year.
I don't know why you would ever say that. Come on, man. Like, of course, that they're probably going to be the favorite, and I agree with that. Their CS team is crazy. So I know very little about CS except for that Davenport's probably the best program for CS in the country.
Yes,
So
agreed with that.
yeah,
Doing good work over there, Colin and Coy. Keep it up. But bringing our attention back to Ferris Esports, how has your kind of regular season wrapped up? Kind of tell us about your experiences. How has this semester been for you?
so this semester has been good. The team's been working well, meshing well together. We started out really well, and then we got placed into our actual division, and then we won a couple games, and then we lost a couple games, and there were some couple questionable things that I love tournament organizers and the way that they have way too few staff to handle things. So yeah, it's been fun. I'm sure if you ask the team what's going on, they'll share. But I don't want to put anybody on blast right now. What's going on? We've had fun. We're really happy for the opportunity to play in NACC. It gave us a break until CLOL starts, which CLOL starts next semester, which I've got to go home and do the paperwork for that. But yeah, so no, we're really looking forward to CLOL because that's the big tournament that everyone cares about. And
Yes.
they care less about ranks there and like smurfing and stuff like that. So we will carry less about ranks and smurfing then as well. So looking forward to that. And League Unlock is always pretty poggers. Get all the champs for free.
Yes.
So
Put
it's
me on the team code. I want League Unlocked.
so that's Riot always does a really good job with both balancing and just running the tournament in general.
Yes.
So looking
Those
forward to that.
developer-backed tournaments, especially by companies like Riot, you could tell really cares about CLO and CVOL. They
Yeah.
spend their time putting the effort into them. Some of the other publishers don't put as much time and effort in, but we're thankful that to even have the publisher tournaments. And, esports is in a weird genre where like the NFL, like they make up the NFL rules, right? It's not like the main like focus of money that comes into the NFL is through the NFL, right?
Correct.
While these gaming companies, League of Legends makes way more money than Pro League of Legends ever will, right? So trying to balance back and forth between the two can be tough.
Yes and no, depending on where the region.
That's fair. That's fair.
So I know the teams do make a lot of money in NA, but as far as like everything else, I don't think the publisher makes a ton of money off the pro leagues and stuff.
Correct.
They do off like sponsorships and stuff for streaming, but that's about it. Bud Light Ace.
Yes. Yes. And again, it's one of
Something
those
like that.
like if you're a company who's making this, your game is what you're selling. You want to sell it to as many people as possible,
Yeah.
or skins in the free games like most of the games nowadays. But
No.
so the professional scene is kind of like an advertisement for the game,
Correct.
as opposed to when you look at like high school football. Like that stuff leads into the NFL, and it's more like high school football is the ad for the NFL as opposed to
Yeah.
the other way around.
I think the NFL is the ad for the NFL.
Yeah, well, that's fair. They're so big at this point. But yeah, we're excited to kind of could play in those developer-backed leagues
Yeah.
here in the spring at CLL. all that kind of fun stuff.
Yep.
As well. So I know the Overwatch team. I don't know if ABC runs in the spring. I know we chose not to do it this semester. They just kind of want to stick it in NACE and play one league. And I think all of the teams that I know were happy with NACE the way it ran this semester. Little things that can be made adjustments here and there. We've kind of let
There
the
will always
staff
be
know.
those little things.
Of course, no matter what you do, there will be
It's
stuff.
not, someone blatantly saying on stream that they're using their friend's account, or a very obviously keeping, their account in their Discord name and then playing in a different account. Kind of
Yes.
things. That's
Yes.
significantly lower ranked. And sorry, that was just hypothetical.
Hypotheticals,
yes.
Of course. But yeah, compared to the past when it used to be, I'd have to log into 5 or 6, 7 different websites to check who's playing when this week, what times the
Yeah.
games are. Defaults were typically weekends. I know back when I played, it was on like Sunday nights. It was like, so it's just like a Sunday night every week. Like I got to be ready to play.
Yeah.
And there were some weekends when I first started working where we had matches Friday nights, Saturdays during the days, and Sundays. And it's just like, what free time do I get? It's like, this is
3
crazy.
full days
So,
in the weekend.
yeah, luckily we've been moving to weeknights, which can
Yeah.
make the weeks pretty long, but you at least have 2 days in a row where you're like, all right, I'm not doing anything. But speaking of doing stuff on the weekend, we've got a fun weekend plan. Different things for both of us, both helping the program here. Crimson Clash 4, our big Smash tournament of the year, is held this weekend in Granger Auditorium. I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, I mean, I know Smash really likes their lands, and I can't imagine. I've never been to one. I don't get the opportunity to be to one because I'm working still. So I'm like, I really wanted to go see this, but
We'll do one in the spring as well.
okay, I'll be around. My schedule hopefully will be a lot less crazy. Who knows? Might be even more crazy with officially working for e-learning. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to. We have a speaking event. I keep forgetting the college's name, especially when there's camera pointing.
Lake Michigan College.
Lake Michigan College.
Yep.
There you go. And talk about esports with their students and high school students that are coming there and stuff like that.
They're hosting a tournament. We're going to kind of get to hang out, have a booth there, talk to some players. All that
Yes,
fun stuff,
and so if you're going to be there, come say hi.
Absolutely.
It'll be me and former club president, unknown HBD, aka Noah, who will also be there and hanging out. So
Yeah. I was planning on going. I wanted to go. I
Yeah.
signed up to go, and then the Crimson Clash. The only schedule for that made sense for the Crimson Clash was the same weekend, and I was like, "Well, I literally have to be there for this. This is one of the biggest, besides Bandwidth Bowl, the biggest thing we do every year."
yeah,
But they were pretty cool about it and said, "Oh yeah, understandable." But we have 2+2 partnership agreement that we're working out with them. So the esports degree program, they'll be able to do your first 2 years both there and at Adams C, Northern Michigan College, up in Traverse City. You'll be able to do your first 2 years at either one of those schools, and then you'll be able to transfer into full credits. Everything's taken into Ferris, and so then you can do your next 2 years to the esports production degree and graduate with a 4-year degree.
and if you're looking into going to school, that is a perfect opportunity to save a bunch of money. Because one of the biggest complaints that I had when I went to to different universities is that credits don't always transfer. I'm very tired. Sorry.
Yes, but this agreement's specifically been worked out ahead of
Yeah.
it's pre-planned. It's worked out ahead of time with both schools where we know that all of the classes that you take in those 2 years will transfer over for full credit in our degree program. And we mapped there. We helped them build the outcomes for the classes, so everything's specifically mapped, so there will never be any questions. Like both schools sign paperwork saying
we will
this
accept
works this way,
Yeah.
so you don't have to ever be like, well, some schools. I went to community college for a while where they're like, hey, this kind of mostly fits, and they take most of these classes most of the time, and you're like, I don't like that. That's scary. But this is all good to go. So we're really thankful for the people who put in the work on both sides, both teams, both of those different schools put in the work behind the scenes to make that happen. So and of course ours here at Ferris as well.
Yeah, so definitely looking forward to that. That's gonna be a fun day and a half kind of things with preparing and packing and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to that. Also on weekends, watch parties. The watch parties have been a lot of fun. I know. So we didn't have a coach's corner last week, but we did both the league, the Overwatch. CSGO didn't have enough people, but we're doing watch parties for all the major events in esports, all the finals and grand finals, and even the majors and stuff that have their finals and stuff. We have watch parties in Bond Hall.
Correct.
So that was a lot of fun.
It was fun. Free pizza. It was a good time.
Yeah.
The Overwatch was a great series. I unfortunately couldn't make the league one, but I heard that was a phenomenal series as well. So did you see the tattoo of the guy who got? So that was a real tattoo.
Yeah.
I thought it was photoshopped because I watch him. He's a YouTuber. I watch him pretty consistently. No, he was just he used to live over in Korea, huge T1 fan. He
Yeah.
said, I watched this video like recapping it. He said he's going to cross out the last number and put the like 23, he'll cross it out and put 20, or 22, it'll cross it out and put 23 until either Faker wins or retires again.
So I thought like T1 won like a Smash tournament or something, and that's what like he said that like that
no,
was,
afterwards
that was
he's like, I've always been a big MK Leo and T1 fan because
Yeah.
MK Leo like always wins everything.
Yeah.
So he was basically amending his first tweet to add another like winner in there.
yeah.
So.
That was hey, got a bunch of free publicity out of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So-
He's literally a marketing. He was head marketer at Twitch and Nvidia, so
Yeah.
that's kind of his shtick. But enough about other random Arizona State esports people in the past. But back to Paris esports. We're excited to continue the playoffs. So this week we've got Rocket League playoffs, Valorant playoffs, League of Legends playoffs, Rainbow Six playoffs, and Call of Duty playoffs.
Yes, Call of Duty already won their first game.
Call of Duty won the first game. Overwatch got a bye. So Overwatch are playing their first postseason game, but it's in the second round. We are expected to win this one, and then we get a rematch. Knock on wood. We get a rematch. If we win this one, we get a rematch against Lawrence Tech. Coming for you. I want to win that game super badly. So
Yes.
the team knows it. We've been screaming. We've been practicing extra hard for it.
Good.
But Sojourn's extremely broken, and they have a really phenomenal Sojourn player. So
yes.
it's going to be a tough match no matter what.
Yeah, should be fun. Those in-state rivalries are always great.
Oh,
Just like, I want to win because I want to win every game, but like I want to win a little bit extra because it's the people we know.
Oh, for
So,
sure. For sure.
yes.
Been gaming with their director a bit over the weekend as well, talking a little smack,
Uh-huh.
spicing it up heading into
This
I guess next week's match. If we win this week, of course. I don't want to take anything as a given.
That's right. As you should.
Call of Duty's last match, though, what a phenomenal match. That team has not looked hungry for a win ever.
Yes.
They came out swinging. They double capped on Gavutu at the same time. They kept both points,
Which
which is unheard of.
yeah, from what I hear, kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So,
They just showed up very dominant, almost like a little mini grudge match. They had played the team before. They really wanted to take this win.
Yes.
Came out swinging for it.
It was the first 4-0 and a best of
That was the previous game.
5.
The
Yeah.
best of- yeah.
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 So so what are we now? We're 7-0 and 2 best of 5s.
Correct.
Yeah. It's kind of impressive.
Absolutely. If they put up big numbers to the point where map 3 they were running around with like knives and so a lot of people I don't like my teams BMing. I don't let them BM, so like body shooting, stuff like that, not cool. Teabagging, we don't do that. But knifing, I don't consider like actual true BM. It's a mechanic in the game. Same with assassinations. They're intended parts of the game.
Yeah.
You can shoot them when they have their knife out. You are at an advantage. If I'm playing it, so this happened when I was on teams too. If I'm playing against a team who's putting themselves at a disadvantage and still beating me, the only person I can be mad at is myself for not being better. That's just the only thing you can do about that. It's just, hey, if I didn't want them to do that to me, I would have played better or killed them or whatever it was. There was teams we played against when I was on the Overwatch team who would hop off the point and chase us down and spawn. And it felt bad, but did I ever talk to admins about it? No, because I go, hey, they left the point to kill us. Like they're giving up advantage.
Yeah.
To beat me harder. You know what we did? We practiced harder and we took it serious and we beat them next time we played them.
Yeah.
That's how it happens. But heading into this week, this is the one game they could get back all season. They were at all season. They said, hey, week 1, we lost to that team in a best of 5, came to map 5. Dave was playing on a laptop. He was lagging. We shouldn't have lost that game. We want that game back.
Yeah.
Now they're getting that opportunity in the postseason. Oh boy, are they ready?
The redemption arc.
They are.
This
is their
full-on
redemption game
arc.
right here.
Yes. No, I'm looking forward to that. That's Tuesday, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, because the same day league is usually
Or no, Wednesdays.
Wednesday. That's right.
League is also on Wednesday.
That's right. Well, holy crap, was it a long week?
Yeah, so today is Rocket League and potentially Valorant. They're debating pushing it back. The other team wants to reschedule, so we're trying to accommodate a reschedule. Tuesday, tomorrow, is the Overwatch game. Wednesday is Call of Duty and League.
Playoffs.
Thursday is Rainbow Six, but we won't be streaming Rainbow Six because the other team will be streaming Rainbow Six. They're the higher seed, so in Rainbow Six is weird. You only get one spectator. Come on, fix your game, Ubisoft. What is the one spectator? It's fine, whatever. Yeah. So and then we're done on Fridays because CS:GO's done. But every other team, all of the other games, I should say, are still on. Not every other team we've had.
Yeah. No, I'm just really happy to hear that we're willing to reschedule because that's mainly like the main esports problem right now. Is
Yes.
that like rescheduling is just so difficult. Obviously we're all college students and we all have production and stuff that we've got to work around. But if it doesn't put us at a severe disadvantage, we do our best to try and
Correct.
reschedule as much as possible.
My policy has been if they announce, like if it's a season-long thing and we know the schedule right away, you need to give us at least 3 days heads up.
Correct.
Because it's like, hey, or I prefer a week. Like if you know, if you're
Yes.
gonna play it, or even if you just say like, hey, that's our Thanksgiving break in 4 weeks. We have the whole semester schedule. To let us know ahead of time. That's super easy to reschedule, right? If
Yeah.
it's the day before, like, hey, none of us are here for Thanksgiving. It's like, okay, well, we were gonna be good. There's some
We are
weird
all here,
circumstances there.
so-
Please let us know earlier.
Yeah.
Or if it's something like the playoffs where they release the schedules later, 24-hour heads up is like basically a minimum. I tell my team captains, if it's under 24 hours, you can just say no, and I'm okay with that. If they want to flame somebody, flame me. That's my policy,
Yeah.
and I'll stick to that. But again, if our teams go, hey, it's not a problem for us, we'll reschedule.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that. That's only in the situations where the team just goes, we're busy or I planned my week. Or some of our players, our master's level students, who are just like, hey, I don't have a lot of free time. I have to build my schedule way ahead of time. I built in this block that I can play the game or go to practice. I know when I was on the team, we had a player who would show up 1 minute before the scrim started, leave 1
Immediately
minute after the scrim ended, and he's just like, homework. And you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
The rest of the team would like go on to play games and stuff. And he's just like, nope, here is the time that I scheduled off. And
Yeah.
I respect that. I know there's a lot of other students out there in esports who do that. So we want to make sure that we're respecting those people's times
Yeah.
by sticking to default as much as we can.
Yes. Yeah.
And that policy goes for other teams who schedule class and my players.
Yes.
I tell my players, hey, you can't go to them an hour before the match, but like we want to reschedule. Like you should have talked to them ahead of time.
Correct. And we all have subs for a reason.
Yep.
I know playing with subs is awful, but I'd rather play than, FF.
Correct.
So.
That's why you see teams with the exact number of people, and it's like, well, we can't make it that day. One of our kids has class. It's like, I've gotten that excuse before.
Yeah.
I've had a team say, hey, one of my players has class during the scheduled time. Every single week, you have class scheduled during the match. Okay.
Yeah.
Then talk to me ahead of time. You're telling me the night before. It's 3 a.m. DM.
Yeah.
It's like you knew he had class. He's known he had class, and he
Yes.
knows this is the scheduled day of the week that this is.
Yeah.
How are you just now getting ahead of talking to me? That stuff bothers me because it's like, dude.
Yeah.
I understand it's not the fault for scheduling class then because you have to like they weren't all releasing the schedules,
Yeah,
and that's not
I get
NACE's,
that.
that's not NCC's fault. That's the
Correct.
publisher's fault for giving them blackout dates, not allowing them in this. So I'm not blaming the TOs for that, but we need to push the publishers to go, hey, can you give us our schedules ahead of time so we can start to schedule classes around it so then we don't have as many
Correct.
reschedules where it really sucks to be the player who's like, I need this class, and it's a 6 to 9 p.m. class,
Yeah.
but it's during my match every single week. That's rough.
Yeah. Like we scheduled our classes for CELO assuming that they were going to be on Saturdays like they've always been.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where like at least CELO is like, hey, look, we have games on Saturdays. You have a full week to reschedule. Figure it out.
Yeah.
So like a bunch of our players schedule all of their classes around, hey, I need this time off.
Yeah.
Which most of the time Saturdays are off in general.
Correct.
But yeah. So yeah, no. I'm happy that that's our policy because I don't ever want an FF win if possible.
Same. We play as much as we can. I'd rather play. I'd rather move it back and play both teams at full strength. We don't want to win based on somebody having a sub, and we don't want to
Yes.
forfeit win. We want to play our team versus your team, practice and prepped.
Yeah.
Even if we're expected to lose that game, doesn't matter to me. We
Correct.
should just get better.
Correct.
That's the way she goes.
Yep. I've never looked for an FF win.
You
Not
won't see
saying
me
that for
roast her.
any reason in particular about anybody in the leagues.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Anyways.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. Like, if we find something that goes against the rules, after the game or something, we could talk about it mid-game if that's the rules. But at the end of the day, if somebody does break the rules, I'm never like, hey, I know we lost the series, but because they broke a technicality, can we get a win? No, I don't look for that. Like, hey, we keep the loss. That's fine. By the
Yeah.
way, this is what happened in game.
Yes.
Please handle it.
Please address this as a tournament organizer.
Correct.
Anyways, I feel like we keep talking about some very specific things. I want to move on to tryouts.
Yes.
So we had league tryouts for CELO yesterday,
Yes.
which a lot of returning faces and a few new faces. I know Kunzi had tried out,
Yes.
which was good to see. Because league is dying game, and we don't really get a ton of new people. So there was a lot of people who have tried out previously. We had one returning player as well who transferred to a different university and is coming back. So I'm excited to see him. He's one of our better top laners. So I'm excited for him to come back.
Yes.
And then it's, the hardest thing, and I know you can kind of relate to this, is like I've had a player who's played the entire semester, has improved the entire time, but then the person who started a few years ago came back, and you're just like, do I just put them back, or like do I stay with the person? Like they're essentially the same skill level. It's just like it's a really hard decision because I do like feel some sort of loyalty to my former players.
Yeah.
Of just like, hey, look, like you have been great, you were great, we were great together, and then also the newer players that I have, they're like, hey, look, like you've improved so much, but you're still just slightly not as good as this person.
Yeah.
And like,
And there's also that like the loyalty for sticking and playing on the team also matters.
correct.
But there are situations which that the student was like, hey, I can no longer attend the school, go somewhere else, grind their way back into the school, and you're like, okay, now let's take a look at this. This is a
Yes.
situation that is tough, right? Also, a lot of times the tiebreaker for me is kind of who can be here longer. Who's, if there's somebody who's gonna be here for a year versus
Which
someone who's
feels
2 or 3
awful,
years,
but
which is
yeah.
bad. But it's like I have more time to. If you're equal skill level now, and I can put the time and energy into building now, down the road, that will more likely pay off if you have more time to be here.
Yeah, it feels bad because like as someone who's like a senior right now, like I would want to play my senior year,
Yeah.
right? I want to play my
But
senior,
so
year,
the
and then get replaced by a sophomore who's just as good for like literally the only reason is that he's going to be here longer is
Yeah.
kind of a really weird feeling.
yeah.
So, yeah, welcome to collegiate esports.
Yes, this is coaching decisions that it's
Yeah.
not just esports. The coaches all across the world have made this decision
Yeah.
time and time and time again.
Yeah.
That's why it's just like, can't one of you just get really good all of a sudden? That makes
Why
this
can't you guys
decision
just
so
make
much
me-
easier.
Yes, correct. Can one of you guys just go on a rant and start like yelling at your teammates or something for me to like be like, okay, never mind. You're
I've
not a
had
good fit.
I've had players who been with the team forever, were on the B team, grinded their way up, have been fantastic, and then a freshman walks in who's just like 2 full ranks ahead of him, and it goes, sorry, you're
It's
subbing
kind
now.
of just how the world works.
And it feels bad. They're like, hey, but I've been doing here. I've been putting all this time and effort in. And I'm like, I understand that, and I respect that, and thank you. And I want to continue to have you be a part of this team.
Yeah.
I appreciate the culture you bring. But this kid's better.
yeah.
And like,
But-
that I have less qualms about because it's just like, That's the way
it's
to go.
quantitative. You can point to it. Like
correct.
the decisions where you have to make that are like distinct. You can point like, hey, this guy's like 5 ranks higher
Yep.
than you and he's got a better champion pool. It's just like, hey, look, the team just works better without you. It's kind of like one of those really
Yeah,
weird. Like,
this so sucks to hear that.
yeah.
Too, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've tried multiple different approaches in the past, and juggling too many people is not the way to go.
Oh,
As we found out this semester. so.
you've heard about my juggling acts between personalities.
Yes.
So.
Absolutely.
That'll be for a coach's corner after dark at some point. We'll be just like complaining about all the.
Did you see
crazy-
that one school that did basically that? They were doing a
The-
podcast with their logo on it, and
Yeah.
like a bunch of students drinking, like recording it. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's crazy to me. We'll never do. Again, we're trying to put out professional content. This is a more freeform way of doing things. Where hey, we're here talking to you guys, giving you guys the information. You can see behind the curtains into our thought processes. But at the end of the day, we still are aware we're in front of a camera and still wearing the school logo, representing
Correct.
the school here. So we
Yes.
make sure to keep in check with that as well. I think anytime you should be on camera, you need to be very much professional and know you're representing your school. I've seen clips and streams of other directors of other programs getting on camera and just going on like crazy rants. And
We
it's
all
just
know
like-
I want to.
Yeah, I could say some choice stuff here as well,
Yeah.
but again, why?
Yes, there is no point. You have nothing to gain from it. So
Correct. Nothing to gain and everything to lose.
yes, correct. Yes. Don't make statements unless you have to.
And again, a lot of the stuff I handle internally with my players. Like I will tell my players how I feel.
Uh-huh.
My players will be made well aware. We don't have to go to Twitlonger every time anything goes wrong. Right? Like
But
we're
they're really
adults
great
about
to read.
this. Oh yeah, collegiate esports drama is a blast to sideline and just put my binoculars on. Like that sucks. You know?
That sounds awful.
Yeah. Oh no. But yeah, being a part of that, not something that I ever
Of
want
course
to do.
not.
So
No, I've only had one twit longer in my life.
that's fair. I've had none. I don't think. I've never posted any at least.
No. Okay. Well, any tryouts for Overwatch coming up for next season?
Yes,
or-
Overwatch tryouts will be first week of the new semester because our leagues aren't due till then. So
Okay.
we try to catch any incoming players in the spring
Yes.
who are freshmen and stuff. We spam all the freshman channels.
Yeah, we have to be submitted and approved by November 30th,
Yes.
which is like a full like month before the next semester. It's just like
So
okay.
these kids already went on campus.
Correct. I am, yeah. So, which it felt bad. The tryouts were literally like November 13th. It's just like, sorry guys, like this is literally the latest we can do. I want 2 weeks to be able to file all the paperwork and stuff and get that submitted so that we don't have any issues. But like,
I wish we had some mods of that.
had some mods for
Mods.
that. Oh,
So I could check and see me 1v1 in you. No, I did participate in league trials. It was fun to watch. A lot of good players out there.
I don't want to talk about my tryouts, man. AD carry was a lot more fun than top lane was.
Yes.
And
New champ's broken.
New champ is absolutely busted, and I
Just replay this clip every time a new champ comes out. New champ crazy, sucks to play against, way overtuned. They'll put him in line eventually.
So like, I've always like the way I've handled new champs and stuff is that I don't look at it until it's competitive. Like until you can play it competitive, because I'm not looking at PvE. I'm not looking because all that stuff changes, right?
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about it until I have to. I've got 160 other champions. I got to worry about what they do, and then like I literally for the first time I'm seeing this champ, it's in a tryout. And I'm just like, I have no idea what this thing does.
It's
like,
big Yasuo.
Yeah, well, that's literally like I told the players, I'm like, okay, I've never played against this before. Like what is his abilities? Like what does he do? Like, how do I play against him? And they kind of gave me a crash course, which is one of the things, like, you should be able to do in the game as well.
Yeah.
So, like, that was a good communication test for me as well. And also game knowledge stuff for me. So, like, okay, I also didn't play the match very well. Yeah, I don't really want to talk about how that game went. It was very unfun. I got my first item at 20 minutes because I was just sitting under tower, just, holding out for dear
You were
life.
playing safe, which is good. My team was like, hey, don't throw, please. And every time I died, they're like, what do we tell you? Like, I'm trying, okay? There's a 4-man dive mid in 4 minutes. I don't know what to tell you. Jonesy and that dang Blitzcrank trying to fish me out from under tower.
Yeah. Yes. Good times. It's always good times. I wish we could have more in-house
I
games and
think
stuff,
we should
but
try to schedule more. Every time people always say, I would love to do it.
yeah.
And then you schedule it, and then nobody shows up.
shows up.
Like, you said you wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, League's in a weird spot. Where like it's not exactly fun to play.
I have a blast, but also I don't take it that seriously. I think
yes.
most games, the more seriously you take it, the more you notice the flaws in the game.
Yes.
So every top-level player that I've ever really talked to just goes, my game sucks, other games are better.
Yeah.
And then you talk to someone else from another game. No, your game's really good and fun, and I have a blast when I play it. My game sucks. Here's all the flaws. Because, like, I was even the same way when I played Overwatch, like, at the top level. It's just like, here's all the things that I'm really annoyed about. But then you play for fun in League, and you're like, oh, really crack top-level stuff doesn't matter because I'm playing.
This is fun. I killed them over and over
Yeah.
again. Yeah. The other thing is like skill gaps in games, like especially League.
Yeah, it's very snowbally. It's
massive.
very different.
Correct. So like, if you have one person who's just like, "Hey, I'm playing for fun. I'm Bronze 4," and you're like, "I'm Masters. I hope you enjoy going 0-20 and having 5 CS at 10 minutes." Like
that's the one thing about League is it gives you that, like, if you're winning and you're rolling, like, you feel very powerful.
Correct.
Because you are. Sometimes you
Correct.
can literally 1v5. But also being on the receiving end, like, that's one of the best feelings in gaming is like being fed in a game like League where you just run the enemy team over. It
There's
feels like a
literally
single-player
nothing you can do, and I know it.
Yeah, but one of the worst feelings in video games is being on the receiving end of that, where you just go, I'm 0-20. Every time I fight, if I see you on my screen, I'm dead. I have to run away, I have to flash away, I have to use all my movement cooldown, and I still die.
Yeah.
Dang.
I was playing Sivir in the tryouts, and every time Kha'Zix showed up on my screen, I would just take my hands off the keyboard. I was like, well, goodbye, world.
Yeah, that Kha'Zix is frying. Again, that's Lem doing Lem things.
Lem doing Lem things. I literally typed in all chat, well, good luck on the B team this year. I was so tilted.
Yes.
Yes. Well, that is all that I have.
That is all that I have.
Okay.
Thank you for tuning in to Coach Corner. Make sure to watch our streams on Twitch every night at 6:45 we go live. Matches start at 7 p.m. this week. Yes. Playoffs, baby. Playoffs all week.
And just keep submitting the clips. After this will be another game day clips.
Game day clip segment.
Game day clip segments, which was also really fun to see and seeing everyone posting their clips, especially their point of views. It's good to have your comms, but if you say a couple choice things, I'm gonna mute it.
Yes, for sure. Stick around for the clips up next.
Welcome back to Game Day Clips. Thank you everyone for submitting your clips this week, and we will not be able to get all of them up on this show, but keep sending your clips and we'll keep picking them out and putting them up. First up, we have Demoted being sneaky, getting a nice easy kill.
All the way down lane, by the end. At the end of the lane.
Not there anymore. Must have dropped. No, we lined up.
Spike down B.
Our next clip is from a new game, Omega Strikers, and I can't do this clip justice, so just play the clip.
Apparently that's been really bad for the audience, so I'm being
All right.
incredibly careful with this.
Ooh, that was an incredible series of saves inside the goal there from Exel. He's able to keep it out, even into the firewall sentry. And a mistimed dunk won't get it across the line. Exel, an iron giant inside the goal line.
Up next, we got Trek dropping a 4K in the last CSGO match of the season.
To set up for an early A hit, and oh, will Ferris be ready? Trek setting up a pop flash. How many will be able to get with this? Here he comes. Peeks out, sprays down 2, sprays down 3. Oh my 4!
Trek frying right there.
What a way to end the season. That's all the clips we have for today. We will leave you tonight with Sponge deciding he had enough of the Rocket League overtimes.
Teammate though. Sponge retains it, gets a double touch off the wall, puts a beautiful shot onto goal.